Hi. Hello, everyone. Welcome. For those of you guys who are watching this as hashtag replay gang, go on ahead and leave a comment down below and look in the description box. There should be a timestamp of when this live actually gets started. But as you know, I'll get started once there's 100 people in the room. And right now, there's 9. So the 9 of you who have joined me, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Hello, Daphne. How are you this Memorial Day Monday? Hey, hard to know. How are you? I hope you are well and I hope you are having a good time on Memorial Day. Hey, Crystal. Welcome to the room. Hi, Caitlin. Oh, I've never seen your name before and I don't know how to say it, so I'm not going to say it. But hello. I would guess that it's no solo. No solo. I hope that's somewhere in the vicinity. I always think of the X as a X sound, as a KS sound or a CS sound. Oh, call me Daphne. Okay. Hello, Daphne. There's 2 Daphnes. How exciting. Germany. Hello. Hello. Call me Miss Gray. I haven't seen you in a long time. I hope you're well. Anissa. Hi. Tony. I'm so happy you made it. Hard to know. Ramsterdam. Hi. I always think about you, Ramsterdam, when I go live after a certain time because I know that you're like 8 hours ahead of me or something like that. And so I'm always like, I have to go live early so that the Europeans can get in on this. Nacha, hello. I've never seen your name before. Tuzsa, hello. I've never seen your name before, but hello. I stopped watching the show, but look forward to your reviews. Oh, wonderful. Aja or Aji. How can I set a timer to view your live so I don't have to watch the recaps, please? I don't know, girl. I don't know what to tell you. You would have to just let YouTube send you notifications. Oh, it's a click sound. Okay. Thank you. Daphne it is. Until I hear it. Woo, a lot of names I haven't seen before. Hey. Good. Oh, Mickey's here. Hello. I mean, Mickey. I guess I'm just waiting to I'm waiting to like Emily. I'm waiting to like her. Because I don't want her and Bilal to be the villain of the season, you know? Okay. Where is everybody at? We're at 48 people in the room. You know, I might not wait till 100 because honestly, I got things to do today. Tangs to do today. So I need to go. Hello, Miami. Charlene, hello, welcome. Jazz, hello, welcome. La Brosina, hello, welcome. Yeah, I was shooketh and shocketh. I do think that Emily, though, is having a little bit of self-assessment going on where she is recognizing that it is hard for her to give up her way of believing that things should go. But every time she says that she's had 17 months to figure this out, I'm like, girl, you're 17 months into parenthood. You figured nothing out. No, you didn't figure anything out. There's so much more. There's so many more stages. There's so many more things. This is the tip of the iceberg. And I guess she just went into some kind of some kind of natural based overdrive when it comes to being a mama bear. And because I will never know what that, not never, but because at this point I do not know what that feels like, I find it harder. I find a push and pull with me judging her. Because I've never experienced what she's experienced, because she's recognizing that she's having a hard time letting go, you would think that that would then push her to make a different choice. Because, like I said, I wouldn't blame Kobe if he left her and he was only there for a relationship with his son. Because I would be like, well, if you want to do it all by yourself, if you don't want me to do what I know to do or do my little bit, then okay. I'll have him when you're not around, and then I'll do what I want. And I'll raise my son the way I think I see fit. Because my culture is just as valid as your culture. So, oh, Baba Baby Binky, hello, welcome. Hello, welcome. Lise, hello, Tammy, welcome. Did I not see any people come through while I was on my, oh, Jesse the Painter, hello. Nola Rola, hello. It makes me so happy to see your name because now that I know how to pronounce it, I feel good, you know? Jazz Riley, I said hi to you already. Okay, I think I said hi to everybody's in the room. Let's just get started, girl, because she got things to do, and so do y'all. For those of you guys who are going to like some kind of party, you have a dish to make or something. If you do want to join the conversation, you can email me at justcallmewah. I'm checking my emails to see if it is so. Caitlin, yes, and Shanti, thank you. Hard to know, you are so generous. You are so generous, and I thank you so much. Literally from the bottom of my heart, you're so generous, and you are definitely a baby producer. Like if there's like, who helped you with this? Hard to know. She is a producer on this delivery or embryo if I get one. Thank you so much. All right. So Caitlin Jones has thoughts. And so since we're going to get started, Caitlin, I'm going to send you the link and then I'm going to do my introduction and everything. You just go on ahead and click the link and come in and I'll add you to the screen when you're ready. Okay. You can let me know in the private chat when you are ready. Copy to cord. You guys through it. You know exactly what I'm doing. Where did she send it? Did she send it to Just Call Me Wah? She did. Yes. Can you guys hear my fan blowing? The reason why I got this mic out is because it's going to give you clearer sound, supposedly, but also because my fan is right here and the sound is kind of dead on this side of the mic. Like the sound is only coming out of this side. So I'm hoping that that stops you from being able to hear the sound of my fan. That way I can have my fan on the whole time and not worry about there being like a weird sound. Okay, Caitlin, email sent. So again, just join when you're ready. You do not have to have your video on if you don't want to. And once I'm done, I will add you into the space and you can chime me on the side or private message me on the side. Okay. Hi, Marianne. Welcome. So many aunties. I can't hear a thing over the dazzling beauty wall. Oh, damn it. Thank you. Okay, let me do my YouTuber thing where I have to go on that, I have to like cross, what do I say? To Instagram to tell people that I'm live and to tell them to click the link. Okay, doing that thing. Okay, guys, I'm live. Please join me. Click the link. Let's talk about this week's episode of 90 Day Fiancé. Okay, guys, the time has come. I'm live. Putting y'all on mute for just a second. We're at 97 people. We're almost going to get started. Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to this week's episode recap review of 90 Day Fiancé Season 7. No. Let's back that all up again. Girl, you looks good. Won't you back that all up again? Okay, here we go. Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my recap of 90 Day Fiancé. This is season 9, episode 7. Is it the bikini or me? My name is Wahima, but just call me Wah, and I do recaps of relationship reality TV, such as 90 Day Fiancé, Married at First Sight, Love After Lockup, some of the Netflix show, The Ultimatum, Love is Blind, and possibly Seeking a Sister Wife, because I love that show. So if you guys are at all interested in that kind of content, please go ahead and subscribe. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share this video on any social media platform that you deem fit. We are going to have a special guest on today's episode, but she will join when she joins. This is a viewer. This is somebody who I have a rapport with, who wants to talk about this week's episode. And if you guys join me live, I will always put my email on the screen, and you'll be able to jump in and give your thoughts as well. If you would like to give your girl a tip because you know you're going to have a yuck, hee hee, ha ha good time, you can do so using these things below, okay? I totally appreciate it, and I love all the support, and thank you for those of you who are consistently supporting me. I actually think I might just go on ahead and get a Patreon again now that I understand how this YouTubing works. And perhaps I'll put some exclusive content on Patreon, give the girls something to look forward to. Okay, now let's jump right into this episode. Let's talk about our first couple, and that is to be Yvette and Muhammad, y'all. In case you forgot what they look like, here it is. Okay, so in this episode, we have Muhammad, who is meeting her friends for the first time. And these friends have an agenda, and that agenda is to be annoying. And I was annoyed, and I was so uncomfortable. Sometimes it's the awkward moments is good TV, and then sometimes it's not. And I didn't feel like this one was good TV because there is a line between like Islamophobia and asking important, pertinent questions. And I feel like sometimes Eve and her friends dip their pinky toe into a path that leads directly to Islamophobia. That is just me. You may not think so, but for me, just as somebody who, manages risk all day, somebody who is hyper aware of how something can go from innocent to not, it it's tasting a little Islamophobia. Okay. So Yvette puts on this dress and Mama has her cheeks out. Like, let's just call it what it is. The fact that the cameraman was able to pick up on her black thong underneath her pink dress means that the dress is sheer. And Muhammad, listen, whether or not he was right or wrong to ask her to change, he was right to tell her, babe, you should wear a longer jacket because I can see your whole ass. I would want to know that if I were me. And if I were going out on a date with somebody in America, no matter where, and I were to have a see-through dress on, the person who is accompanying me might need to know that they are going out with somebody who's got their ass cheeks out so that they could act appropriately in case someone else chooses to not act appropriately. Now, that is what I saw happen. And so I don't think that he was wrong. And also, she was like, you want me to change my dress? You want me to change my jacket? Okay, I'll change my jacket. And so she does. It's not like he said, babe, go take that dress off and actually throw it away because it's 100% see-through. Like, he said, you should wear a longer jacket. And I think that was good advice. And if I were her friend, I would say, girl, you need a longer jacket, child, because we are seeing everything. And it's looking, all right, So she says in her confessional she just resigned and she said, I guess I'll change. And then we get there and her friends want to know his intentions. And you know that I get annoyed when people want to know if you're getting married for the right reasons. I want to know what the right reasons are, because what are the define and why are they the right reasons to get married? Anyways, so I put friends are weird and they want to antagonize him with their boobs. And I think that's true. I think it's true. I think to a certain extent they do want to antagonize him and be all like titties out because they've heard that he doesn't find it appropriate. So then they ask him, how do you feel about this? And he's like, I don't care what you do. I only care about my wife. And I said, that makes absolute and perfect sense. It makes absolute. So why the hell would he care about your tetas? He only cares about hers, and as he should. So then with the wine, they're like, "Oh, we're drinking wine. Are you okay with us drinking wine?" This man didn't say he wanted to come here and like bring Sharia law or whatever it is to the U.S. And it's like literally they're acting as though he has asked her to put on a burqa and stay in the house. He has not done any of those things. So I just think it's crazy. All right, you guys, we have a special guest in the house. And she needs no introduction, but I'll introduce her anyway. This is Kaylin. She's going to join us as Mama Kate, and I'm going to bring her in. Let me see. What did she say? All right. Here she's going to join in right now. Hello, Mama Kate. Speak. I don't know if we can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Sorry, I only have a couple of minutes. Hey everyone. Hi, Wah.
Hi. All right, we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about, and then I can get back to my normal routine. So go.
Okay, that's good. I just put the little one in the bath. Her dad is watching her, but that's basically what I want to talk about. Partners and their roles as far as being a father. I
Okay.
really like Kobe, and what he's trying to do to step into that role of being a father. And I think, like you said, Emily is now kind of seeing that it's basically called, well, on Instagram, they call it mother gatekeeping. Um, so that's what she's showing the signs of. Now, as someone who also gave birth during the pandemic, my baby, she just turned 2, had her March 2020. I feel for her because I do understand that it's difficult circumstances. And I had my husband here, but he worked really long hours. The only other person that could help was my mom, even though we have big family, extended family, but for everybody's safety. So it was basically just me and my child. And then when he changed jobs, it took me retraining my thoughts to, oh, I'm not a single parent. I do have help. He's going to do things differently, but I kind of just have to let him do his thing sometimes. And am I cringing in the background? Or do I put on her baby monitor for audio just to make sure that my child is still alive? Yes. But at the end of the day, I know I have to let some things go so that they can have a good relationship as she grows up. But Kobe, when his eyes light up talking about his child, that's phenomenal because that's not what you always get. And I kind of feel like Emily, I think she's like what, 29, but she acts like she's much younger. So emotionally mature, she's not there yet. But I think she's lived a sheltered life and she doesn't know the other side of what a real deadbeat dad is. And I think because of that, she doesn't understand what it would be like if he wasn't so on board and happy to play with him and happy to change the diapers and all of that. That is a gift and it's a blessing. And if she doesn't work with her own feelings. I don't know. Maybe she needs to get a therapist. I don't know. She needs to do something so that I think he mentioned it, like, in this last episode, I think he said something about, if you already have your life here with your son, like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
So doing something to allow room.
Yes.
I think that's important.
No,
So,
definitely. And I thank you for coming on and saying that, because that is just kind of what I was trying to say earlier, that like I don't know what it's like. I don't know what she's going through, so I don't want to judge her as harshly, but it feels like she made all these plans, and he says the same thing, that she made all these plans and it just expected him to just like slide in and be what it is, whatever that is
yeah,
that she needed him to be, and follow her rules, but he's like, "No, I have a way of doing things too, and she needs to make room for me." I think the extra level of stress is that she allows her family to side with her when they're having arguments. And
yeah,
that's what she needs to do, is put up that wall and say, "Hey, I get it. You're trying to support me, but Kobe and I are never going to learn how to communicate. And it's going to cause resentment if every time I'm having an issue." I mean, today, this episode, she called her mother in. Can you believe
yeah,
he's trying to give her peanuts? And then it's like, but the last episode, her father just kind of hovered his way in. So
yeah.
it's like, it's awkward, and it's happening on camera, and it just is not a good look.
Yeah. And I think that's another thing too. Like, her, from what I can tell, from what her parents have said and what she said and the way she acts. Okay, like when I had my baby, my parents put me in my place all the time. So I know that even though my child is, what, 26 months now, I don't know everything, because every single day, whenever I see them or talk to them, they say, "How are you treating my grandchild? And you're doing this wrong, or you're doing this right." And then, of course, me as a parent, I get to choose how I raise my child, but to know that there are other schools of thoughts out there. So Emily's walking around thinking that she's mastered it and she's the perfect parent. And I mean, I've seen several things in the episodes that we've seen that say differently. Not mommy shaming, but there's just different ways. And then you have somebody from a whole different culture that you really didn't get to know before you decided to do what you did, and procreate and bring a new life into the picture. And yeah, you're not the same person. He's not the same person. Y'all just have to get on the same page.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah. Oh, and then real quick, I wanted to, um about Ari. I have to go because I really need to check on my child. She's going to tear up my house. Um I saw some people saying, like, she needs to just get a job or like work from home. And I mean, I agree. And that is a responsibility she took on when they moved to the United States. However, just the other flip side of it, Benny, from what I've seen over the years, and it's TV, so who knows for sure. But I don't think, if he was my husband, I would really trust him alone with my child either. Like, even in Ethiopia, they had a nanny, or somebody to help. And some of the things he does gives me pause. And I feel like he's not really a hands-on parent. Now, is that something that Ari set up and he's just following that? Or is he, happy dancing at the club for a little bit of money and want to become an MMA fighter or whatever? I'm not sure. But I do understand her apprehension to, like, "Oh, we're here now. I'm just gonna," especially since her parents are older, like they're like much, much older. "I'm just gonna go out now and go get a job and leave them alone for 8 hours." Now, I would probably want to ease into that too. Um, yeah, I see the yeah. So I don't agree with her on a lot of things, but I understand her apprehension. But once again, these are things that should have been planned out or decided before you pick up your family and move. And I'm sure part of it was you were tired of his sisters and you wanted to be on your, change up the playing field but there are other things that come along with that.
Yes, I would definitely agree with that sentiment with Ari and Benny. I She might feel a little uncomfortable with that because I don't know that he would be like, "Oh, it's time to eat." Like I think he'd be
No,
like, "Oh, why are you crying? Maybe
yeah,
are you thirsty?" Like I just don't know that he would know those
yeah.
things. And we haven't seen it,
He,
but maybe he does. Like maybe
he
he.
I get vibes like I don't think he plays video games, but I kind of get vibes like something similar to that. Like he gets in the zone with a project or whatever he's doing, and you've got this little human that you got to keep an eye on. So yeah,
Yeah. I do think you're right. There must be some he might have like something where like he's like watching Avi, but at the same time he's like climbing a tree or like, like boxing. He's like, "You sit there, I'm just going to box." And then he looks up and the baby's gone.
yeah,
Like, yeah, I do see that. I do see that
yeah.
100%. All right, anything else?
Well, thank you for having me on.
No
I've got to
problem.
go, but thank you so much. This made
Thank
my
you.
day. Thank you.
Oh, great, great. Thank you so much for joining and you have a great week, okay?
All right, you too. Bye.
Bye. Okie dokie. So you guys heard it from Caitlin, a mother who has had time with only alone with her child, and so she's giving the perspective about Emily that may have not. We'll get to that once I move on to Emily, but let's stay on with Muhammad and Eve. All right, so they're at dinner, the tetas are out, the wine is poured, okay? And the friends are asking him, inappropriate personal questions, right? He says, okay. You're comfortable with drinking wine. Then they go, "Have you ever been in a serious relationship?" And so he says, "Oh, I have a fiance to marry, and we meet with parents, and they say no because I don't have money." And I was like, "Oh, that's a cool story, bro. Like, girl, why'd you tell that story?" This is weird. And then they're like, "Well, how is Eve the first girl you've like kissed? Is this the first person you've been with?" Knowing damn well that he lost his virginity to her. And I just thought, why do you need that information from his lips if she already told you? Why are you asking this grown person about their past sex lives? So like it just doesn't make any sense. You obviously don't respect this person, that the fact that you're doing that. And then he's like, "Yeah, no." And they're like, "How did you know what to do then? How did you know what to do? How did you know how to kiss her if you've never kissed before?" I'm sorry. What? I didn't it it was too much. And Eve just sat there. She didn't say anything. She didn't stick up for him. She didn't stop them from like this stupid inquisition. And so then Muhammad like clearly is upset. And in his confessionals, he's like, "I don't want to be here. Like, I don't want to be here. This is weird." Then they asked him if he's ever watched porn. I don't think this was good TV, y'all. I don't think this is good TV. Again, it was la 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 la. Okay, there's that. Um I'm sorry, I'm going through my notes. I put, she calls him out in front of her friends. And that's because he says, "I don't care about what other women do." And then she's like, "Well, I want to let my friends know that he is controlling because he didn't like my dress today." And so that was more information for them then. Oh, now Muhammad's controlling. And so he has to defend himself in front of them. Then the friend says, "Well, my husband lets me dress the way I want to dress because he's a real man who's comfortable with himself." And again, I'm thinking to myself, you guys are holding him responsible for a way of thinking that he was raised in. Is it different than ours? Yes. Is a lot of it rooted in control and patriarchy? Absolutely. But why are you holding 25-year-old Muhammad responsible for that? Your friend made a choice to be with him. And that is what being with him is at this moment. Who knows? It could change. But that would be a deep, long conversation that these two need to have. Not with you. Like, it's you act. Here's what I feel. I felt like they act like Eve is a 19-year-old little cousin of theirs who this 36-year-old man is trying to like tell what to do. That's the way they're behaving. Eve has all the power in this scenario. So she's given up power to him. So she just needs to take it back. I mean, she has to feel some kind of way about it, right? Okay. He then says, I'm very curious why you are judging me. And don't say you're not judging me because I see it in your eyes. I was shocked. He said, I see that you are judging me and I see it in your eyes. I don't think it is fair for you to judging me. And I thought you're absolutely correct. You know, as much as I wanted to make fun of him and his command of the English language, you know, I don't speak another language, so I respect anybody that does. I just wish that the sound that came out of Muhammad's face wasn't that sound with that cadence. Because he's very handsome, but I have a hard time seeing it because I just see, oh, I don't know. You must tell me when you have a man in the house. That's I'm like, what? No, I'm not telling you because your voice is higher than mine. So I don't understand. Are you going to protect me? I don't trust that. So, anyways, they get into the car, and it's obvious that both of them are pissed. And then she says, "Oh, you seem a little quiet." And I said, "What? He seems a little quiet. You're both pissed. What are you talking about?" And then Muhammad responds with, "Did you see what they did? You act like you weren't there." And then, in fact, Yvette is acting like she doesn't know what he's talking about. She's like, "Well, you seemed okay. You seemed like you handled it, like you handled your own." And then she's like, "No, I'm not okay. I was just holding it in for you." I just made all that up, but that's the way he sounds. And so, like, I was so confused. I was so confused. And then they have a huge argument about who said what and how they said it. And you met me like this, but you told me you were going to change. I never said I was going to change. Yes, you did. I don't know what he's talking about. I never told this man that I would change. I said there were certain things that I would do. Yes, I would stop eating pork. I would only drink on special occasions, but I never said that I would adopt his religion. And then we recall him saying like 2 episodes ago that he's not asking her to become Muslim. And then in the next episode, we see that she's going to go to a mosque. Sometimes people who try to do things outside of the way that their religion asks them to do it, and then they try to pull other people in, like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. If you found somebody that you love outside of your religion, then you just found them outside of your religion, and let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. So that's all I have to say about them, but it was infuriating, and I was on his side because she really messed up. Thank you, Desiree. Okay, let's move on to the next couple. And let's get them out of the way, but let's talk about these two fools. Okay, so Jabri and Miona, y'all, they're wearing matching outfits, which I love. I'm going to love all of the fashions that they give. I know people are just talking about them like all they're here is for a fashion show. And I have to say, yes, thank you. Gracias. Yes. Give me all the fashion. Okay, that's how I'm going to do it. So, they go to meet grandma. Grandma is cool. Okay. Grandma is like a liberal, purple haired, purple highlighted hippie lesbian woman. And I freaking love it. Okay. This is Jabri's safe haven. He says at times that his mother was a little like much. He would go to his grandma, and I've already scoped it out. What happens is grandma was a free loving Oregon Trail, lesbian of the 80s and the 90s, right? And Mahala grew up, I'm just going to throw this out there, with a weed smoking, love loving mama. And so Mahala decided, because of her childhood and the stress of her upbringing, that she was going to come in and swoop and be super conservative and become a therapist and learn why people do things, because she has some interesting childhood trauma. So it's always interesting to me when a grandparent is conservative. I mean, it's not conservative, and a parent is conservative. So you have so it's like, what was that choice? You know what I mean? Like, was the mother so wild that Mahala just had to become so conservative in order to like counterbalance her like crazy childhood? It happens, y'all. It happens. So he goes and hangs out with his grandma a lot of the time, and so they're really comfortable and close. And so he wants Miona to meet his grandmother and love her and everything. So grandma comments on the matching outfits, and they go in to feed the horses. And what's her face wore shoes she shouldn't have wore to a ranch, and she's like cleaning out the stables, and they're talking to grandma, and she tells her grandma, she's like, listen, your daughter Mahela, she's extreme. She's trying to tell me how to dress, and I don't appreciate it, and it's very uncomfortable. And grandma's like, well, I'm not going to talk shit about my daughter. She is more conservative than I am, but perhaps a good conversation with her will get you guys on the same track. But she does say she does understand how Miona could feel some kind of way about that. And then she asks about the wedding. She's like, listen, can you let me know when this wedding may or may not happen? Because, people in this family need a plan, if we're going to travel somewhere. And he's like, no, no one has a plan. No one has to travel. We're doing it right here. And Miona's like, no, we're not getting married here. We're having a beach wedding. I've always dreamed of having a beach wedding. And grandma goes, well, people aren't going to be able to come because it might be a little expensive. And Miona's like, well, if they can't come, then I've always dreamed of beach weddings since I was child. So I hope they can make it, And then grandma says the same thing that Mahala says. Everyone is picking up what Miona is putting down. It's because Miona is using this time to be very stubborn and to be childish and to not make a good choice. And she's stressing the shit out of Jabri. And grandma says, you know what? All we want for Jabri is to be with somebody who loves him and supports him. And all they can see is this bratty side of Miona. She wants her grandson to be loved. And right now they feel like Miona isn't loving on Jabri in the way that she needs to, so that they could feel comfortable with this wedding and these designs. And I would agree with them. If this person is telling you that he does not have the money to give you what you want, and you're saying, but you want it anyway, it just doesn't feel right. Now, this is where I get confused, because then in the next day or next breath or next whatever, he tells her that they have to go to Chicago to finish their album. And my thought would be, oh, so you're going to spend the money that we could use to go get married in Los Angeles on a trip to Chicago. So I could see her being a little petty about that, but also she's going with him to Chicago. It's not like he's like, I can't afford, you have to stay here with my mom. Like, no, you're going to come with me. So that's room and board, that's hotel, that's eating, that's shopping. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do there, how they're going to manage it. I actually don't know how much money they have, but it seems foolhardy to go to Chicago without a definite understanding that money would be produced from that. And that is what David is saying, is that a really good producer is coming, and this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, and Jabri needs to jump on it. And so then he asks her, are you going to be decent with David? And she's like, well, if he's cool with me, I'll be cool with him. And he's like, no, it's not what I asked you. I'm asking you as my partner that if David does something that upsets you, that you're going to go on ahead and keep the peace for me. And she's like, nah, bro. I'm going to try, I guess maybe I'll try a little bit sometimes, but possibly no. If he wants to bring the heat, then he could bring the heat. And then she's like, I met him 3 years ago and something happened and he's judged me ever since. And I don't think it's fair that he's judged me. So I'm like, you actually haven't tried to even make amends with this person. To me, if my person's best friend and I did not get along, unless that person hit on me and the reason why we don't get along is because they're a scumbag, then like there would not be a scenario in which I couldn't be around them and be cordial. Isn't that what you're signing up for? I just don't understand these people. Like, they're getting married. Like, guys, do I not understand what marriage is and what it needs to be? Because let me tell you, I've watched my mother be in situations that she didn't want to be in, hanging out with my dad, and she was as cordial as she could be. Now, sometimes, I was just like, why don't you just go sit in the car if you're going to act this way? For sure. But after seeing that, I'm like, okay, now I understand that sometimes you have to make hard choices when you're in a marriage. And if that's hanging out with somebody's shitty ass friend, then you got to do it. You just do. Oh, you know what I forgot to mention? That from talking to their grandmother to them having a conversation about going to Chicago, has snowed. So it's been some time, okay? Because the snow is on the ground. And I just wish, Miona's putting on makeup, and let me just tell you, she has yellow in the inner tear duct. And all I want for her to do is just to give me like a little white frosted even closer to the tear duct so that it could give that yellow some dimension. That is what I thought about while she was sitting in that mirror, and I saw that she had like a 18 pan palette of eye color, and I was just like, I just need you to get a little pencil brush and just dot it right in that tear duct, and it'll just like make that yellow pop. You're welcome for that makeup tip. Okay, so then she tells him basically, if I go with you to Chicago, then we're having this LA trip and we're going to get married on the beach. And he's just like, I don't understand why she doesn't understand that going to Chicago is going to make us money and it's going to be beneficial to the both of them, and why she's holding this thing over my head. And I'm like, because she's a brat. She doesn't understand how money works, and that's what that is. Okay, I see that I have gotten 2 emails. So let's see. Has anybody else wanted to join? Ooh, yeah, somebody does. Ha 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 ha. Season of Love. I don't know who you are. So Season of Love, can you please go on ahead and leave a comment down below right now so I know who you are? I'm going to send you the link, but leave a comment so that I'm aware of what's going on. Hi, Gigi. Welcome to the room. All right. Once Season of Love leaves a comment, I shall send this person the link. And then they can join. It was 12 minutes ago, so they should still... Oh, Seasons of June. Sorry. Not Seasons of Love. Seasons of June. You guys, Caitlin, Mama Kate made it back. Yay! Okay. So, it's frustrating. It's the same storyline over and over again. And girl, it's just like, can we just get it together and have you understand you can't get married there or go back, like, period. Okay. Oh, it's me. Oh, that's me. Okay, June, here we go. Sent you the link. And when you get backstage, just leave me a private message and then we can go from there. Okay. So you guys, 242 people in this room. How many thumbs up do I have right now? How many likes? How many people have liked this video? Someone tell me. Thank you. Okay. So let's move on to our next couple. In the meantime, in between time, let's move on to Kobe and Emily, because we already talked about them kinda. And this will be quick because I'm infuriated with her. But I'm trying to not be that bad with it. 87? Oh my god. For shame. Oh, that face is terrifying. Oh, for shame. For shame. Okay, 100 now. Can we at least get to 200? I can't even believe it. Thanks, Michelle. Thanks, Tammy. Thanks, Ramsterdam. You guys, come on now. 245 people in this room and only 100 likes. That just feels rude, is what it is. Okay. So you guys, we get a morning scene where Emily has this baby on her hip. Hi, Vanny from Poland. And she walks into the room that Kobe is sleeping in, because I thought Kobe was sleeping on the couch. So at least Kobe is sleeping in a nice, comfortable bed. He's like, why are you guys up so early? And she brings the baby in and she's like, hello, Dada. Hello. And then the baby just pops the tata in his mouth. It's just like, hi, Dad. And then just like, booby, booby, booby. Okay, so Emily says in the confessionals that she wants to welcome Kobe there, but she has to put Coben's feelings before Kobe because it is Coben's house. Whose house? Run's house. Okay, so this is where I'm confused because she says, "Listen, I want to give Kobe the time and the attention that he needs, and I want to have him have a relationship with his son. But also, this is Coben's house. And so Coben needs to be the one that's the most comfortable." And I said to myself, am I old school in thinking that a 17-month-old is going to be fine? A 17-month-old is not going to remember the time when daddy came and moved in and all of a sudden he couldn't sleep next to mama. Is this going to be long-lasting trauma for this child? And if it is, why didn't you start weaning him before his father got there so that you can slowly and with love do so? I just was so confused at that statement. So then she allows Kobe to handle Coben in the morning. And at some point, he's holding the baby and the baby starts to squirm and make noise, like cry, because he wants to be put down. And Emily looks back and she's like, "Oh my God, put him down." And he's like, "Oh, okay." So he puts them down and Coben goes running about the place and she's like, "Close the bathroom door, Kobe, because he's just going to go around and play in the toilet." Oh my God. And I thought to myself, how is he supposed to know that Coben is going to go play in the toilet? I have never closed the door with my nephew. Never. Because he's never gone and played in the toilet. It was never a thought in my mind that he would go and play in the toilet. Now, it could happen 100%. And I'm not saying that children don't do so and Coben is like different. No, no, no. What I'm saying is that to assume that everyone would know that your child is going to go play in the toilet is crazy. It's bananas. It is BANANNS. Okay? It is wildly absurd. And so just for her to be so annoyed with this man while he is trying to interact with his son for the first time is really, really hard to manage. June, if you want to leave a private comment in the chat, let me know. On this side, June is in backstage, y'all. I just want to know when she's ready. So leave me a comment to let me know when you're ready, okay? It is just bananas to me. So then he goes down to change the baby's diaper, right? And he's like talking to him. And he's like, "Okay, okay, gonna change your diaper." And then she's like, "You don't even have the wipes ready." Now, listen, she's right for suggesting that you have the wipes ready because there's been many a time where I have taken off a diaper and there is no wipe to be found. And you just had to ingrain it in your head that you need to get those two things first, right? Possibly a toy, depending on how moving crazy the baby is with moving around, right? And she's like, "You have to be fast. You have to be da, 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 da." And I'm like, he's just changing the diaper, okay? He's not like administering like medication that can save the baby's life. If he forgets the wipes and gets peed on, then he just forgets the wipes and gets peed on, and now we have a lesson learned. Right? Am I right? Am I right? I'm right. Sometimes you just have to get peed on a couple times before you recognize what you need to do. That is the end of it. A little baby pee ain't never hurt nobody's couch, cushion, or carpet. Okay? So, like, just let it happen. And oh my God. So she's like, "I don't know if I'm feel comfortable leaving Kobe here. Coben and Kobe, these names are getting on my nerves. This a lot." So, anyways, she's hovering while he's changing the diaper. And then when they all get ready to go into the car, she's hovering while he's putting the car on. I mean, the baby in the car seat. And all I said to myself is just let the man put the baby in the car seat. And then once he's walked away, open the door and just check it. Then he's with glee in his eyes. Again, June, you got to tell me when you want to come in the room. I'm sorry. June is sitting here and she's not saying anything to me. So I don't know if she wants to come in the room or not, or if she's ready. Okay. So anyways, then she's like, babe, I think it would be really great if I drive in your country, babe. It'd be really great because I think I'll be a good driver here in your country. And she's like, I'm not comfortable with that while Coben's in the car. So no. And he's like, babe, this is, this is my child. This is my car. And here's the truth. I think he accidentally said my car instead of my child. I think he mixed his words up and said the wrong word. Two, I think that he might think that that is his car now because he is moved in. Like, if I were to move to a foreign country with my person and there was a car that we had, I would consider that car mine too. Not maybe mine immediately, but like he's excited because they have a mode of transportation. All right, you guys, June has chimed me. Okay, she was waiting for me. I'm ready for you to come in now. You guys, this is June. She's going to join and she's got a little bit to say. Welcome, June. June, you're on mute. There you go.
Yes, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Great. Okay, so this is my first time calling. I'm a little nervous. I look at you all the time, but I'm like, should I email her or shouldn't I? Should I or shouldn't I? And today I was like, you know what? I have to say something. So, the first thing I was going to say was like the money situation. This is my first time because there's so many of you beautiful melanated people that are talking about 90 Day Fiancé. And I was like, now I got to get into another show so I can talk to y'all. So I finally got into it. And now I'm just like, oh my goodness, what is this? What is this? These people, like when I think of me, if I was ever the foreigner, I'm just a normal Black woman, no different ethnicities of what I know of. But when you go to these special places, you're going to a whole nother United States that you've never been. Why doesn't any of these people talk about money? Why do they go places without money? Like, you need money to do anything. So how do you not think to yourself, let me have at least $2,000. Let me have $3,000. Let me have $100,000, $10,000, something to bring to the table. You're coming to somebody else's country with nothing. The youngest guy on the show has the most amount of money that he brought. That's sad. It's really sad. He's the only person that said, yeah, I sold my bike so I can come here. And he still couldn't even get a laptop. Sucks for him. But back to who you were talking about, which was Emily and Coben. First of all, I was going off with my best friend the other day. She has a 7-month-old. And I was like, this woman is 17 months, still have her baby on the nipple. First of all, he owns that nipple now. He just snatches it out and says, hey, I'm eating right now, and you better let it happen, and then put it back. He's taking a lot of control. You have to get the child to not, I have a 5-year-old. You have to make sure that child doesn't get all the control, because that's all that's happening. Yes, the child runs the house a little bit, but at this moment, he's running the mama's boobs. And sorry, those aren't yours. I bet, even though Emily said, I don't want Coben to touch my boobs, I bet she was willing to get that moment when she was trying to get that special moment. I don't know what to say.
The time where she wanted them to have sex before they went to meet the baby.
Yes, like in that moment, I know you wanted her to touch him to touch your boobs. I know that you wanted him to fully feel the Emily, the new Emily. You wanted him all over you. Don't play that. And now you have him basically biting your boob off. Because there's no way a 17-month-old does not have teeth galore. He got smile from it, daddy. What you looking at, huh? Wanna see your grill. He got that. So yeah. Who was the next person? Oh yeah, the car situation really made me sad. You have this small neighborhood. He just basically said he barely sees any road. There's dirt roads there. So why wouldn't you let him? And you're at a 1-horse town, supposedly, 1 Black person town. So why couldn't he drive and be there? And you're so concerned about that baby, you should be able to turn your head. That's hard to do when you're driving. Now you got to wait for him to do it because it's hard work doing that. Like, I'm scared. I be scared when I see my son then drop something. I'm turned around and I'm like, I should be focused on the road. That's how a lot of accidents happen. but you're too busy saying, I'm going to drive because I'm scared about you driving. I mean, what do you think he's going to do? I like to be chauffeured around. Sorry, Emily, if you love for you to drive. I love to be chauffeured. If all else fails, you know what, baby? You drive and I get in the back seat so I can make sure my baby okay. And I just tell you where to go. That's what you could have did too. But you said, no, I'm going to be mean to this man.
Yeah, I think it's the way she said no too. Like, I thought that she could, if she was truly uncomfortable for whatever reason, I'm not saying that she shouldn't have been uncomfortable. If the person is uncomfortable, then she's uncomfortable. It's a control thing. There could be a lot of factors going into it. My thing is the way she said no to him. It should have been like, hey, I personally believe she should have just made up something like, hey, your license, or you don't have insurance, or whatever, you can't drive here, but we'll do it another time for sure, or something like that. I mean, a moving vehicle can be very dangerous. And if it gives you that much anxiety to where you're not going to even be comfortable in the car on the ride with this person driving, and you're just going to bother the shit out of him, then I would just go ahead and say no to it. But she didn't have to basically tell him it's her car and that I'm not comfortable with you driving with our son in the car. All that was too much. Again, she's just reiterating to him that he is not fit as a parent as much as she is. And that is, I think, not helpful for your partner to say that. It's just not nice. So I'm not going to knock that. The same thing with the people coming to the US without money. Whatever currency that they have is not going to add too much to the US. Now, it may, depending on if they actually have any, and we never know how much the foreigner is bringing. So until they actually explicitly start to talk about that, then for me, don't know that I would be too judgy of that. Also, if I were the foreigner going to another country, yes, I would come with $2,000 of my dollars, but also that $2,000 would be reserved for if I needed to jump on the plane and leave. Because when you come to the States or you go to any foreign country to be with somebody, you are at their mercy. And the only thing that you have is the money that you bring to get you out of that situation should you need it. So I'm a little bit more forgiving on that front for them coming to the US without any money. The American is responsible for it. And if you have chosen to bring somebody to this country who has no money, then you've made that choice, because the K1 visa process is at least $7,000. So if the American decides to go through that process and pay that $7,000, then that conversation that happens between these two parties about money is between them, and it needs to be handled as thus. You need to think of, I think the American is the one who truly understands how our money works and how our society works, right? Like, foreigners don't get it. They think you come here, you work, you buy things. It's like, no, you need credit to buy stuff in this country. Like, you have to have some kind of credit. And so they don't get that. So it's a learning curve for them. And I would never judge them on that. Oh, she disappeared. What happened? Well, anyways, I would never judge them on that because I understand that. But I do think that June was bringing up some very good points that Emily, she's doing a lot. She's doing a lot until she comes. Oh, here she is. Let me bring her back. All right. Sorry, I don't know what happened, but I didn't drop you.
All right. I clicked the button by accident.
Oh, okay. Going ahead and continue.
It's so easy to click that button. Yeah. Biniam, and when he was talking to the family, I was just like, I knew that was in the back of his head the whole time, but you weren't supposed to say that, sir. You got really, really nervous and then started splurting out things that you were supposed to keep in the back of your mind. All of that's supposed to stay back there, okay? You're in a whole nother country. You're not supposed to say, yeah, if we don't work out, then you should still help me get the green card. That's what a responsible adult does that wants their child's father to stay in their lives and knows that they have another child. That's a responsible adult. Is she a responsible adult? No. I mean, sorry. I wish she was, but she's not. And it's scary to me because it's kind of like Ari kind of made it seem like when she was there, it made it look like she was doing the the best she could. But now she's in the States and she's just so concerned. But at that moment, it looked like you were just enjoying being in Ethiopia, enjoying having this luxury life. Like, I wish I had a nanny. I wish I could afford to have a nanny to be sitting and doing things for my child instead of me having to do it myself. Like, that sounds like a nice thing to have. But now it just seems like, I don't know. I get that you're saying that Biniam looks like he doesn't know what he's doing, but does Ari?
No, she doesn't. She doesn't. You're right.
That's the sad thing. And it's like, I have older parents too. My mother just left me last year. Well, no, it's been 2 years now. But I understand that. And it's like the parents, they try their hardest to give you all they can before they leave. Just like that man looks pretty old. Her father looks pretty old. And he's been doing all of this for you. And yes, they have money, but they don't live forever. Nobody lives forever. So if they're trying to do this for you by saying we're helping you out, you're taking all the negatives. And I'm a negative Nancy too myself. I can't help it. I love it. Me and her, we're best friends. We always love it. But at the end of the day, this ain't the moment. Like, and Biniam, you do have a little pipe dream right now of becoming a NFL wrestler, whatever, MFL, MA, whatever that is.
Yeah.
But I feel like you're like, I don't know how old you are, but usually at a certain point, you can't do that stuff. Your body, they know you're too old. Like, you can't be a fighter forever. Eventually, you got to give it up. Just like a football player. You get tackled so many times, you done. It didn't even take you. You probably wasn't in there for 2 years and you got tackled too many times. Stuff done got out of place and now it's over. Like, I get it. He can have a little pipe dream, but I don't even know what to say because it's like, you're the foreigner coming here. So you can't even do nothing. I wish like some of these couples had good, their parents had even better careers. Not saying that none of them don't, but I'm saying a career where they've made themselves wealthy by entrepreneurship or something. So then these foreigners have somewhere to go where they can be under the table until they can make some good money. That's what really needs to happen for these people. So then they won't have to worry about so much, because it's like, it feels like it's so much more stress on the American for the money, like you said, than it is for them, because you just said too that you put in my mind that the currency is different. The money that you have here is going to be, we have our money's a little bit more, has more stability than you. So yeah. I get it. But it's kind of like, I just wish that they had some type of entrepreneurship, just like Miona. I'm just looking like, I get that, but I swear you was doing something entrepreneur. Why can't you bring that here, but put it under Jabri's name and then try to build yourself instead? Because you're a gorgeous woman. I mean, you could sell whatever you're selling. Somebody's going to buy it. So you could do that, but you just need Jabri to, help you out a little bit. Get yourself out there. And you in a small country. I do feel a little sad for her, but then I don't care at the same time, because it just feels like you're like, whatever. Like I got this little cookie. I done gave it to Jabri, and Jabri knows he gonna do what he gotta do to keep it, or I'm gone.
I think that they are actually doing what you're saying by being on the show. And then 2, I think that she just needs to, there's no urgency. The only urgent thing that they need to do is get married before the 90 days is up so that she could stay in this country. But like a year in whatever they are, Rapid City, is not going to take away from her entire life. It's just like, that's the thing that, to me, that I find that maybe it's because she's young, she doesn't understand that just like 1 year is not going to do anything but give them the cushion that they need in order to maintain the lifestyle that she wants. I don't feel bad for Miona at all.
Yeah, and you're living with the mother, so, and I get it, but it's certain things like that. The last episode when you were talking about the shirt thing, I was just like, come on, cameras, like, y'all could calm that down. Like, it's really not that serious. And I get it. She's a beautiful woman. And when you're young, you show your body. Like, I mean, I had conservative parents, so I didn't. But when I went clubbing, trust and believe, I'm showing a little skin, okay? Not a lot, but I'm showing a little bit. Come on. Like, I mean, I guess she's a psychologist, but come on, mom. Like, I know you're in a small town. You don't want for it to look bad, but it is what it is. That's who she is. And you just have to accept it. And I mean, I don't know. This kind of gives me, I don't know if you watched the show. They canceled it because it was so problematic. Something about adults adopting adults. It gives me that vibe when she was talking about, I don't want you to be revealing, and that woman that didn't want the girl to be there. She wanted her to live in the trailer in the front of her house. Idiot.
Oh, I didn't watch it, but some of the audience did. They watched adults adopting adults or whatever. And they told me to watch it, and I never got into it.
I watched really, I just watch reviews because, of course, I love melanated people and I love what y'all have to say. So if y'all watch a show, I'm gonna try it and I'm gonna be like, okay, I'll give it a little touch. But sometimes I'm like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it, you guys. I tried. But
Chantel said it was bananas. She watched it.
Oh yeah. So it was kind of creepy. It was kind of like that. Like, I get it. You don't necessarily want a sexy woman walking around with her body all out and your husband looking like, that's what you used to look like, a whole snack. Not what you look like. Like, I mean, how are you going to feel? You're going to feel some type of way if you see that your husband is looking at her like he used to look at you. I get that. But that's just young. You have a lot more experience than her. I bet a lot of things that you do in that bedroom, she can't do. So, I mean, it's just appealing because it's better. Wine gets better over time. It's not good when you first make it. Everybody knows that. But
all right. Anything else about these other couples?
I mean, everybody's against Bilal for the most part. I like him. I just hated the words he decided to use at that moment. I just hate it. It was just so cringing. Like, she's having this moment saying, I love you and we are going to make it forever, even though you've been treating me like crap. And I have been just taking it like a champ. This moment is happening. This is so beautiful. And you're like duly noted that you love me. What is this? What is this? Like, this is a beautiful moment. They should have kissed at that moment. But no, you're going to say something ignorant like that. And I was listening to Gio, and he was talking about, he saw some meme that had the Bilal being fully covered in the blanket while she's cold. And it's crazy how she said it too. She said it while they were walking, holding hands. Yeah, I'm cold. And he was like, yeah, it's a little chilly. But did you offer your jacket though, sir? Did you offer your jacket? No, no. She'll be all right. Whatever. Then you got the cover fully on you. Like you need to be warm. No, more than likely her stuff is thinner than yours. Men got good material stuff. He's paying good money for that stuff. Her stuff is probably, not saying she ain't spend no money on it, but it's probably thinner.
Yeah, it's Shimshian.
It's exactly. Come on. And it's the middle of the night. It's chilly. Stop playing. And you're just like, yeah. And it was cute that she said, oh, I wanted you to do something romantic. And then he ended up doing it for her. That was really cute. But still, you just, that was horrible. You should have never said that. You could have said anything. A kiss would have been 100%. You didn't even have to say it back to her if you didn't feel it. Just kiss her.
Yeah.
That would have made up for it. And yeah. I don't know, what was the other couple?
I think you hit on them. We got them all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, yeah, that's all I had to say. Thanks, Wah.
All right. Thank you so much for joining, June. Audience, thanks June so much for taking time out of her day to join us. I love today. I love that so many people wanted to join the live. And I'll see you later. Continue anytime you want to join. Just let me know. Okay. Oh, she left. Great. Okie dokie. So let's finish talking about Emily and the car. So he gets into the front seat and she's like, can you buckle, please? And she's like, okay, can I now show you my city where I grew up? Thanks. Hold my hand. And if you wanted to know, there's a jewelry store. When she said there was a jewelry store, I said, girl, you are not getting a ring. If Kobe marries her, it is only for the green card. And he would be justified in doing so. If he's going to have to take care of that son, he needs to be there for the kid. And this now goes into the same situation that June was just talking about with Ari and Benny. And Shannon Van was just talking about Ari and Benny, the same thing too. So like, we're going to talk about it because I know people are going to feel some kind of way, but let's talk about it. So basically basically Kobe tells Emily that he doesn't like her attitude and that she's smart, but she's not as smart as she thinks she is, and that, you know, there are going to be consequences for her behavior, and she's just like, whatever. I mean, literally, her facial expressions after he clearly stated to her, your shit is getting on my nerves. Her attitude was like, I don't know why Kobe's so upset. It's like, loser, whatever, Batman forever. That is the energy she was giving. Was like, you're being annoying and I would like to show you my hometown. So can I just do that? Stop getting upset at everything. I'm the one who knows what's happening here. This is my country and my town and my baby and my car and my house. So I like that he expressed himself and he's giving her warnings about her behavior, and it's up to her to take those warnings and go with it. Then she goes to work and she feels guilty for leaving the baby because he's crying, which is natural for a baby to cry when their mother leaves. Grandma decides to hover McGover over this situation. I mean, he's trying to play with the child, do whatever, and at some point he decides that he wants to give him some Cameroonian nuts. And instead of Emily, when she gets home from work, saying, oh no, I don't know if he has a peanut allergy, so I wanted to wait to give him peanuts until we can check to see if he has an allergy for it first, she's going to tell him that she doesn't want him to introduce any new foods to her son and that the size of the peanut was big. That baby has back teeth. A 17-month-old, I mean, maybe not back teeth, I don't know. But like, you start to grow the teeth at like 7 to 8 months. The teeth start to come in and it's so cute. And it's just the droolingest, cutest baby. But the molars, them back teeth should be in by now. This child is almost 2. What's 17 months? Oh no, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't have the teeth to chew the nut. But they're like, look how big it is. And what they showed me looked like it'd be big enough to go down without much whatever. Also, I'm like, why didn't Emily just like chop them up a little bit more then? Like, just chop them up a little bit more. It was a lot of hovering and I didn't like it. And I didn't like the way they made him feel bad for wanting to give his son a little bit of Cameroon. I really think that they should have separate households where he's allowed to be as African and as Black as he wants to be and allow his son to get some of that culture in. Because right now, Emily's getting on my nerves. It's her child, but she's getting on my nerves and I don't want to watch it anymore. So that's all the notes that I took out. I don't know what happened after that, but like, it was just a lot. Like, it was a lot. It was a lot of like, you can't show my son things because I'm the only person that can introduce him stuff to him. Or she could have said like, hey, if you're going to introduce him to new foods, I would like to be there to see his experience. Like something. But don't make him seem like he's completely wrong. Like, think before you speak. People are so weird. All right, next couple that we are going to talk about are Ari and Benny. And this is what June was talking about. So we're going to talk about the segment that she's referring to. I wanted to show you a picture of the baby. Oh, look at him brushing his teeth. Look at the little cutie brushing his little cutie teeth, little cutie. His teeth are brushing teeth, cutie. Look at that. Look at this cutie brushing his teeth. That's cute. Okay. So Benny's playing with Avi, and Ari comes in and tells him that she's so tired. And then he's like, oh, yesterday, like beautiful days, like a beautiful place, but we fight a lot. So what I've decided to do is write down everything that Benny says so that I can repeat them back to you, because it really, I don't know why this sticks out in my head. You guys know I'm mad because he tells her that he speaks English and I feel like he doesn't. I feel like most of the time when he's talking, it's just like, Ari, Bini, Ari, yesterday, like, beautiful days, like, beautiful. That is what he says. Yesterday, like, beautiful days, like, beautiful. Yesterday, like, a beautiful days, like, beautiful place. but we fight a lot. Okay? For me, just I tell you an idea. That's why you don't have to mad. Benny speaks English the way I speak Spanish. You know what I'm saying? With love and intent, but wrong. Okay? But wrong. Wrong. And I'm sick of hearing it. I'm sick of having to decipher what he's saying. So, he's like, this is your country. You are the one who knows more than me. 90% about situation for this country, So basically what he's trying to say to her is, yes, I might have said a dream. I might have said an idea, but you got upset at that dream and that idea. And I'm deferring to you. You know more about this country than me. I love that he says 90%. I'm like, can you just say 100? Can you say 99%? You don't know 10%. I have no faith in him. So then he's talking to his sisters and he laughs at a joke about Ari being drunk after they spilled wine on her. I said, y'all didn't spill wine on her. Why are you using the word spill or spilling? Is there no word? I know that there's a word. I know that there is a word for threw wine in someone's face. I know that is a statement because the language that Benny speaks is an old ass language. Okay? These old ass languages that are like biblical languages, okay? They've had time to develop and grow, and there are probably words for emotions that aren't even in the English language. Okay? There are probably words for a series of events and phrases, and it's just probably I can't imagine why the interpreting or the words would say spilling, why they would use that word, because they didn't spill wine on her. All that woman said was that she isn't there to marry them, but marry him, and they threw wine on her. And I understand there's a cultural difference, and perhaps I don't understand the cultural difference enough. But when is it ever justified to throw wine on somebody like that? Then they're going to say we're mad at her because she kind of said that she didn't want to marry us. She just wanted to marry you. So we're completely justified in throwing wine on her after we took care of her and her kid. No, you took care of Benny and your nephew is what you took care of. Her family took care of her. And Mimi, the nanny. Listen, Wish and the sister look the best they've ever looked. Okay. I would love to never see Wish with blonde hair. So they looked great in that thing. But I just didn't like the way he was laughing. Like, we already know Benny don't like Ari, but damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, it feels disrespectful. At the same time, you have to have some basic level of respect for her, but you're gonna laugh about her possibly being drunk because they threw wine on her. And then they're like, well, if it doesn't work out, if you guys continue fighting, the least she could do is help you get your green card. Like, yes, you guys are right. It is right. It is right. That is the least she could do. And June is right, and Shannon Van is right. He didn't have to say that shit out loud. Neither did they. Just from the American perspective, it looks bad to say that kind of stuff out loud. It does not look good because every American wants every foreigner to come here for the quote unquote right reasons. And that right reason is always drop dead, can't function love. Can't function codependent, drop dead love is what you need to have in order for the intentions to be correct to move to this country to marry somebody. It's so silly. But anyways, he's right. But go ahead and keep that thought in the back of your mind. There's no reason to say it out loud in front of her family, which he ends up doing dressed as Black Panther. So he goes out with her family, and in his confessional, plot twist, all of a sudden, Benny's English is amazing. There is a confessional that he does with that blue shirt on, with the beautiful crushed blue shirt with the gold around here, where he says several sentences so clear that I said, oh, I can't make fun of him anymore. I can't make fun of him anymore because that was just the clearest situation. If things don't work out with them and their relationship, at least that they could do is help out with the green card. And because she can't raise that kid by herself, is what they said. So he likes that plan of action. He doesn't want to lose Avi. So he awkwardly goes to this family dinner. And then she says to him at this family dinner, "Oh, do you remember them? Don't they look like, is this what you thought they would look like?" Or someone says that to him. "Is this what you thought the family would look like?" Oh my, hey, everybody's here. And I'm going to tell you right now, that was the biggest group of the most forgettable faces I have ever seen in my entire life. I can't tell you what not nary one of those people look like. Ari is the only one of them and the mother that have a face that is thus, to where I'm actually able to see discerning features to identify them if should I see them later. But that sister, those brothers, and that dad, I mean, I don't know. It's just, I don't know what I'm looking at. They, this is just the most forgettable faces. Just real middle of the road. Real lost in a crowd energy. Real just. So he then says, Ari explained to me that Princeton is green. And I didn't understand until I got here, and it's green and it's beautiful. Okay. So he's doing his best. He doesn't want them to bring up the wine spilling in this incident. He doesn't want to have any awkward conversations and feel uncomfortable. He wants to be the best Benny, Ari's husband, he can possibly be. Just he is just like trying to do his best. And they're filming a TV show, so they're not going to let him be his best. They're not going to just like they're not going to just let him be, right? So the sister, she has questions. Okay, that sister has preguntas. Then her question is, so a few months ago I heard my sister and you arguing through the wall. So what was that about? And he's like, Adi left, and I feeling like I lost in my family. In it makes me very sad. So I try to fill time with people and bring people to house. Even if I don't know them, I say, hey, you come over and stay here with me, make me laugh, because I miss my family and I never see them again. And I'm just very sad. And it's wrong thing to do. And I was wrong. And I love Adi, and I love her so much. I love her. The Adi, the family, and the Abi, and the Colton too. I don't. And so I was wrong. It is my fault. I don't know. And then she's like, oh baby, like you love me, and oh my god, don't cry. But the sister doesn't buy it. The sister is just not into it, girls. The sister is like, she feels like Benny has been neglecting her sister, and the truth is, she is right. Did not June say that? June said it too, right? That obviously it's clear to us that Benny is. What does he do? How does he support? Caitlin said it too. How is he supporting them? He seems like somebody who just like is in his own world, and he's about making himself happy. And yes, he could be there to support and love and ask bongos and flip them and dance with them and play with them a little bit. But for the most part, he's going to get up in the morning, brush his teeth, wash his face, put on clothes, and leave the house to go visit with everybody. He's not going to go to work. He's just going to go visit people. He's going to like work out for 5 hours, but then he's going to go around to different people's houses and different people's studios and just do things and eventually come home. Yes, Ari's by herself for the most part because she couldn't go with him. He's probably not doing anything she would actually want to do, and she got a whole baby to take care of. He's not at work. So yes, he's not there for her. He is neglecting her. He isn't a good partner. But that's not him. That is his culture for him and how he's been raised. I'm not saying that's Ethiopian culture. I'm saying that's Benny in the way that he maneuvers around the world. He just ain't shit. That's just what it is. He's just that kind of guy. He's never had any responsibility, never been held to any responsibilities. Yes, his siblings love him because they're not dependent upon him to provide them anything. He's just like their fun little brother. But when that fun little brother wants to have a family, that fun little brother doesn't know how to manage a family or take care of a family. And that's what happens when you let a stranger that you meet at a taxi stand bust in your guts. So really, that's the end of that, right? You let a stranger bust in you, and this is the outcome. No? So he says, I want to be a UFC fighter with or without Ari because that's my passion. The sister's like, oh, so you're not really here for Ari. And he's like, oh, I mean, I am, but also, my family, it's so funny. My sisters were just laughing at Ari earlier today. And earlier today, they said, like Ari, if things don't work out, then, Ari will sign for me to get green card. And the whole family goes quiet. And Ari says that it is the heavy weight of disapproving silence that fills the space. And then she realizes that Benny doesn't love her the way she loves him. So out loud, she says, well, I'm the real prize, right? I'm the real prize, right? And he's like, oh, yeah, yes. Why didn't that go over? Why didn't that, in his mind, he's like, why are they mad? Why didn't that go over? So they don't think that it's practical for her to just allow me to stay here if we don't get along, because obviously I have to be around my son and I have to help her financially. Like I can't do so if I go to Ethiopia. If I just go back, then I'm going to lose both of them. And then she says, we have major communication issues, and this is an example of why we do. Because of how he just said this to my family. And this is where I go back to saying, this person doesn't speak English. Whoo, that was heavy, y'all. That was heavy. Haha, officer, what did the mothers look like? They had faces. I mean, there's a character in Dick Tracy. There's a character in Dick Tracy that the family reminds me of. There's like Voldemort is what they remind me of. Just like, what are the features? You know what I'm saying? Okay, anyways, there's that. I'm rude. All right, let's move on to the next couple because, girl, I told you I wanted this to only be an hour, and it's not. It's more than that. Let's go on to Bilal and Shaida. So in this episode, for whatever reason, I thought that it was going to be a good one. It really shaped out, and I was like, oh my gosh, he got them a gondola. So anyways, I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're going on a date now, girl, but they're walking at night. And she's like, it's as cold as a dog's nose. Like that's a saying in Trinidad. And so he's like, yeah, it's pretty brick city out here. It's pretty cold. So they're walking and she's like, oh, look, babe, look, the boats with the thing. It's so romantic. It's like a gondola. And he's like, oh, okay. So they're walking and then she's like, where are we going? And he's like, oh, we're going over here. And surprise, 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 Bilal has gotten her a boat gondola ride at night, and it is beautiful. And she thinks that it is everything that a woman would ever want from a man, is to be shown the romantic side and the love. So romantic. And so she's really excited about it because she's told him this is something that she's wanted, and he's given it to her. And she says, even though it's been hard and they've been fighting back and forth about the children and about their, relationship and how things are going to go, bleedy, bloop, bloop, bloops, that she is happy because this is the person that she fell in love with. This is the person that he presented himself to be initially. And so they get on it and she's in love. And then she tells him that he is 100% her person and that, God brought them together. And she loves him, and that, that everything is good. And, she, for a long time, did not think that this would happen for her, and that, she gave up on the idea of love. And now everything is good. And so he's like, oh, 100%. Let's make that 110%. And she's like, 110%. Yes, you're my person. And then she's like, but Bilal, I really want kids. I really want them. And he says to her, which on out loud and on paper makes sense, that he wants to wait to have kids because they still need to get to know each other. And he would hate to go through another divorce because the divorce really killed him, and have kids be a part of that. So, yeah. Now, in his confessionals, he is basically saying that he don't really know Shida. Even though he's choosing to marry her, he don't really know her. And so he's going to need more time before they choose to have kids. And I just said to myself, why doesn't he actually just sit down and have that conversation with her and say, this is my fear. This is what I don't want. So yes, I will have kids with you, but we shouldn't have kids until 2 years in. Okay? I know you'll be 39. Let's get your eggs removed. Let's put them on ice. Or let's do, something. Maybe that's not a part of their cultural reference, religious reference to do that. But I think the issue is that her eggs might have a diminished value. I don't know. Mine did. So that's all I'm thinking about. And so the difference between 37 and 39 to someone who has egg issues feels like a lifetime. And so she should have her eggs preserved so that when he's finally ready, they can merge the sperm. Or if they don't work out, she at least has viable eggs. And so you guys, I just don't understand why Bilal does not know or understand that if he gets a divorce, it's because of things that he and that partner have done together. So if you do not want to get divorced, then you should go to therapy so that you guys can talk about everything that is important before you get married. And then make an actual commitment to roll with every single one of the punches. And for me, I personally imagine that the reason why his ex-wife left him is because he was unbearable. So he should work on not being unbearable. Or he should work on being unbearable. It's really annoying. So why did they have the kids? Why do they have to have the kids right away? So that's my thought. And he just sits there next to her and she says, I love you. And he's like, that's good to know. That's good to know? Oh, I'm going home. I'm going home on a that's good to know. She's being vulnerable. That's good to know. Could you imagine? I'm going home. I'm getting my behind on a plane and I'm going home. Because he still isn't sure. Because she's not the perfect idea of what he wants his wife to be after being with her for a month? I don't know how long she's been there. But why is it that people think that a person needs to be your perfect person immediately? Why isn't it that people think like, oh, we're going to have to work on some things, but I do see that we love each other and we will do the hard work? Why is it I'm seeing red flags? And it's not even red flags about like big stuff. Like she's seeing big stuff, red flags. He's seeing red flags from her too, but they aren't stuff that cannot be talked through and worked through. His shit is like ingrained in his weird psyche. Am I getting spammed? Oh, Mickey, are you able to hide that person? The pseudo alpha crap that he pulls when he's really a little boy mentally. That's what I'm saying. Bilal reminds me very much of a boyfriend my mom had when I was a teenager, a grown man that gave a 15-year-old girl the silent treatment for 3 months. Like it just like that shit is weird. Just say how you feel. I'm not going. I don't know. The start. I'm not going is that they were navigating this line. They weren't already. I don't know what the thing is. Handled. Oh, thank you, Jasmine. Anyways, weren't they talking for 2 years? That's long enough. I guess I just am like, they needed to spend more time back and forth with each other. They needed to like, I think that's why she was comfortable enough to pop him in the head, honestly. I forget that they've been talking to each other for 2 years. That's a long time. That's a long time, girl. I talk to somebody in a month and if I talk to somebody every day for a month, I feel like I freaking know them. So 2 years? Yeah. Very much insecure and mentally not well, always manipulative. Yeah. Yeah. All right, you guys, I did not take any notes about Cara and Guillermo because I'm not going to ever talk about them. Like, I'm just not going to talk. There's too many couples. Look, it took me an hour and 35 minutes with the couples that we had. You know what I'm saying? I'm never going to talk about Cara and whatever. So, unless something crazy happens, like, nah, I'm not talking about them. Whew. Thanks. This is the second live of these. Oh, great. 90-day fiance visa is not for people who are unsure. I really hate this component of the show. You should already know before you bring that someone over here. Exactly. You spend $7,000 just to not be sure? Unless you're just trying to give us good TV, but it's hard to watch. They had a marriage ceremony in Trinidad. Oh, they did. Oh, that's disrespectful if he then comes here and is like, I'm not going to legally marry you. I know he didn't marry her there. They did that like a spiritual ceremony there in front of her friends and family, no? That seems rude. It really does. It seems rude. All right, you guys, that is the end of this video. She's hungry. I've got tangs to do. And I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with me on this Monday. And y'all are the best. If you would like to donate to the baby fund or support me because you got some laughs going on, please feel free to super chat me. I mean, not super chat me. Feel free to Cash App, to Venmo, to PayPal, to Zelle, to all those things. Cash App. Did I say that? Good. All those things. And y'all have a fantastic week. Remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up on your way out. Oh my God, are you guys watching RuPaul's Drag Race? Y'all, it is the best. This fills with so much joy. Brenda B, thank you so much. Thank you so much. What's his face? So much. Thank you so much. All right. Bye.